Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm a British person, enjoying life and the food here in Monterey, as well as, of course, the rest of Mexico too. Now, I'm going to try a new beer today. I haven't tried a new beer for a little while. I think the last one was Modelo's Pura Malta. And this one is from a brewery I haven't tried for quite some time, actually. Where I live, there are 4 convenience stores. There are a couple of Oxos and a couple of 7-Elevens. If you go to an Oxo, you get the average beers, the ones from Cerveceria, Modelo, and that's it. And of course, you will find Stella Artois, because that is part of Anheuser-Busch, which own Modelo. But when you go to a 7-Eleven, you always get a nice surprise, especially the one opposite the hospital that I go to. And they have just the ordinary beers, although they did used to have quite a few of the exotics, as you might call them, in the fridge along with the others. But now they have a separate fridge. They kind of hide it away a little bit. And you find some little delights in this fridge, as I did this evening. I needed a Bohemia for the challenge against the Czech Republic for the World Cup. And it's difficult to find Bohemia sometimes, except in 7-Eleven, and they keep them in this little separate fridge. I don't know why it's separate. And I was just getting a Bohemia, and I looked and thought, what's that label? It was a label I didn't recognize, a very nice blue-coloured one. So I took it out, and it was from a brewery called LaBru, and it was their Maíz Azul, a beer made with blue corn. So here is the beer. What a lovely label, lovely design. It's gorgeous. Their other designs are nice too. And LaBru comes from Morelia in Michoacan. And it looks interesting because it said Maíz Azul, and I do love blue corn. So I've opened it, and let's pour it into my lovely Minerva glass. I've rather poured it well. Lovely colour, nice and golden. I thought there might be a little blue hue to it, being with the blue corn, but I think that's only when you actually have the corn itself. When you have the corn to make your tortillas and other things, as I do with my tub of blue corn. But it's a lovely colour, lovely and golden, a lovely head. Oh, the aroma, it's gorgeous. It's lovely and fruity. I don't think it's a very strong beer. 4.7% alcohol, I think. So kind of average for many a Mexican beer. And as it says on the label, de cosecha, of the harvest. So they make the beer during the harvest of the corn. Yeah, I do like this label. It is rather wonderful. And they have many other good beers too. Last time I had the beer from LaBru, and they were still using their very old style labels from when they began. But well, they seem to have modernized. I just hope they're not absorbed into a bigger brewery. But I mean, looking at the labeling, you think, have they gone a bit fancy? Have they bought out? But I hope not. Anyway. It has a creamy flavor and texture. Yeah, you know it's corn. Well, I know it's corn, but you know it's not what you normally get in a beer, and it's unusual. It has an unusual flavor. Not that it's not an unpleasant flavor. It just takes you by surprise if you expect a Tecate or a Corona. But afterwards, there's a lovely dryness. So it starts off with this creamy note in the mouth. And then here in the roof of the mouth, there's this dryness that just fills the mouth. That also takes you by surprise. Here the creaminess, and then there's lovely dryness. So there's a nice hoppiness to it. It's not over hoppy like many IPAs tend to be. That's one thing with Mexican IPAs. They're not overly hoppy like the American ones, which tend to be hopped to buggery in a way. But this is nice. This is something you can really match with food. I think it's probably a good one with seafood. Yeah, there's a nice sweetness. There's a sweetness which comes in. I do like this. Thank you, 7-Eleven, for hiding these in the corner so nobody else would get one before I arrived. Yeah, there's this combination of sweet, creamy, and dry. And it's rather lovely. There's so much going on in that beer. And I love it. I really do. I wasn't quite sure what to expect from it, really. I thought, will it be bluish? Will it have this blue tinge in colour? Because after all, when you look at a tub, or look at the blue corn for my tortilla making, and also for coatings on fish, it really is spectacular. Now, I have in my mind to do a fish and chips with this coating the fish like I do many a time, and try this with it. I wonder what the result would be. the corn in this flour and the corn in the beer. That's a nice experiment. So yes, that really is a nice beer. It has, as I've said, that creaminess, that dryness, a little sweetness, and it's very clear and clean on the palate. It is very pure. I would say it is a very pure beer, like many in the artisanal range of Mexican beers. That is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. That's very good. Very nice indeed. When it comes to artisanal beers, or craft beers, as the Americans call them, or in Britain we call them independent brewers, they kind of get a bit of a rough ride from the government in terms of taxation. They pay a little more in tax compared to the big two, Heineken and Modelo. So the beers are that little bit more expensive. And I think that is one of those off-putting things for many a drinker in Monterrey and Mexico in general, that they won't go near them because they are so expensive. I mean, when you look at the price for a can of Tecate or Corona, you're looking at like between 22 pesos and 26 pesos, thereabouts. But an artisanal beer like LaBru is going to cost you much more, almost twice as much. With some, it's like 38 to 40 pesos, but you can sometimes find some which, because they're such a small brewer, might be like 48 to 50 pesos, which isn't fair in the grand scheme of things. There needs to be a nice level playing field where artisanal brewers, craft brewers, can compete fairly. The government did say they were going to do such a thing, but as with all governments, they kind of forgot about it. Anyway, if you happen to be in a 7-Eleven or any other specialty beer store, not that 7-Eleven is a specialty beer store, but mine is getting that way, search out this beer, Maíz Azul from LaBru, and try some. You'll be pleasantly surprised. So, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, click on the like buttons, and leave a comment, and join my community here on David Eats Mexico. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now. See you all very soon.